Ecotourism involves visiting natural and undisturbed environment in a responsible way. It focuses on conserving the environment, supporting local community and provide educational experience for visitors. In Malaysia, Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture play an important role in promoting and managing ecotourism activity. Ecotourism was introduced to protect natural resources, encourage responsible tourism, and create socio-economic opportunity for local community while preserving nature for the future generation. Ecotourism is designed to protect nature. However, one of the major problems in ecotourism is the environmental pressure caused by the rapid increase in tourist number. This is because when the tourist number increases too quickly, it can create a serious environmental pressure on protected areas. To accommodate large number of visitors, infrastructure such as hotel, resort, roads, and parking areas is often developed. This development can result in deforestation, loss of vegetation, and destruction of wildlife habitats. As tourist number grows, the demand of water, energy, and other local resources also increase. This places additional strain on the environment. This is because natural landscapes that should remain undisturbed gradually become overcrowded, polluted, and degraded. Over the time, this impact reduces biodiversity and damage the natural beauty of the area, which can threaten the long-term sustainability of ecotourism. The increase of used car, buses, airplanes, and motorized boats leads to highest carbon emission and poor air quality, contributing to climate change. The other problem is economic imbalance in ecotourism development, especially due to revenue leakage. Revenue leakage occurs when income generated from ecotourism does not stay within the local community but instead flow to outside investors, large companies, or corrupt officials. One key reason for this problem is corruption and poor management. In some cases, tourism revenue is misused or diverted by officials, preventing fair distribution to local community. Another factor is the lack of local ownership in ecotourism destinations such as Sabah and Sarawak. This is because many resort, lodge, and travel agencies are owned by investors from urban areas or foreign countries. As a result, local community benefit mainly through low wages jobs rather than ownership or leadership roles. Lastly, limited local skill also contribute to this economic imbalance. This is because many local lack business experience, marketing skill, and access to capital, making it difficult to compete with the external operator. Local people and rural community often do not have the resources or infrastructure needed to establish their own ecotourism enterprise. Moreover, high investment costs further limit the participant because they are starting an ecotourism business. It requires significant financial capital.
Now, we're moving on to the implication of ecotourism in Malaysia. The first implication of ecotourism is degradation of environmental resource. Basically, this happens when too many tourists visit fragile areas like rainforests and rivers. The ecosystem becomes stressed and damaged. This leads to loss of habitat for animals and reduced biodiversity, which affects Malaysia's reputation as a rich ecotourism destination in Malaysia. Other than that, the pollution from human activity also lowers the quality of air and water. This can making the environment less clean and less appealing for visitors. Over time, restoring these areas can take years and requires expensive effort, which can putting a financial burden on local authorities.
So, let's continue to the second implication regarding economic imbalance in ecotourism development. To begin with, when the outsider to all the benefits of tourism rather than local community in their own environment, for surely the local will lose the opportunity to accumulate capital and reinvest in their own economic activities. This situation shows that it can limit the development of local business or job applications. Otherwise, the local community will continue to over-reliance with outsider tourism company, which can be worsened more in terms of economic inequality and can be affected in local incomes. In addition to that, this indirectly can reduce the local skills since the outsider has taken over the locals' ecotourism industry, which they don't give the opportunity to locals in gaining a new business knowledge based on tourism strategy, such as language sharing, cultural exchange, and marketing in tourist activities.
From the third problem of lack of facility and infrastructure, it can be highlighted in terms of the third implication of ecotourism, which is reduced tourist satisfaction. This is because when facilities like toilet, rest area and transport are lacking, visitors often feel not comfortable and frustrated, which lowers their overall experience. So, when tourists have a poor experience, they are less likely to return or recommend the place, which affects the long-term success of ecotourism. That means fewer happy visitors mean reduced income for local communities and the government.
Search no more, it's here, fun and joy, endless cheer. The memories so dear, after years, still so clear. Journey into this and more. Come on over and explore different world. Surely say nothing more one can ask for.
Now we're moving on to the recommendation that can be improved by the Malaysian government from all of the problems of ecotourism sector that exist in Malaysia. The first problem is the environmental impact. So, the first recommendation that can be reflected to improve the environmental issue is the Malaysian government need to make an improvement of wildlife fines in Malaysia. However, even though the Malaysian government already implement these regulations regarding the wildlife fines, the environmental issue is still happen in Malaysia, this is partly due to the impacts of many tourists. Hence, it is recommended for the Malaysian government to make an improvement of the wildlife fines in Malaysia by following the concept from Vietnam, which is the corporate penalty model for the wildlife fines, meaning that the Vietnam divides the fines into two aspects, which are individual and the corporation as well. Vietnam has implemented its wildlife fines specifically under the category of individuals, which allow the Vietnam courts to apply fines for up to VND 2 billion and jail terms of up to 15 years to the individuals of wildlife crime. In addition, the other category of wildlife fines that execute by the Vietnam are the penalty of a corporate legal person that commits the wildlife crime. As stated in the Article 234 of Vietnam's regulations, the legal corporate person itself is liable to a wildlife fines of between VND 300 million and VND 6 billion. So from all of this, the Malaysian government is encouraged for the implementation of these recommendations in Malaysia, because this is to ensure the criminal responsibility of a company and the people that is commit the wildlife crime both are being responsible by bear with the penal liability, and this is to ensure that the decision makers in the corporation cannot hide behind the company to escape from the punishment.
One of the key challenges in Malaysia's ecotourism sector is the issue of limited local digital skills in Malaysia. So we actually already have the National Entrepreneurship Institute, or we call as INSCEN, a public agency through one-on-one coaching program is designed to improve sales and business performance. But the operators are still expected to execute the digital tasks themselves. However, INSCEN's programs are general and not specifically tailored to the ecotourism operators. Therefore, I actually wanted to recommend that the Malaysia adopts a more targeted intervention similar to Ireland's digital debt deliver program known as the Audit, Grant and Fix model. This audit grant fix model works in three practical steps. First one, digital audit, which the programs begin digital maturity review that diagnose the problem first and identifying whether the tourism business lacks digital readiness in areas. Stage 2 is roadmap, which prepare a structured digital roadmap, and this roadmap is prioritized actions by clearly stating what need to be improved first, the timeline and the resources required, and ensuring that the business follow a staggered. And the last step, step 3, is fix, which to approve business receive grant funding through external technical providers to ensuring that the recommended solutions are professionally executed and fully operational rather than left to the operator's own limited skills. In conclusion, while INSCON provide valuable coaching, Malaysia need a specialized, hands-on digitalization program for ecotourism. By adopting island audit grant fees model, the government can directly build digital capacity, increase revenue, and ensure the rural operators are not left behind in the tourism economy.
In conclusion, ecotourism plays an important role in supporting local community and providing educational experience for visitors in Malaysia. However, rapid tourism growth has created several challenges including environmental degradation, economic imbalance, and lack of proper facility. This issue lead to negative impacts such as damage to natural ecosystem, reduced tourist satisfaction, and higher conservation costs.